7 in the morning. Last night about 4, it started pouring rain. So no sunrise. And I've got to get up and pack up the tent in the rain. Joy!
Before we get into the craziness of the weather, I should mention that today's video is sponsored by the Professional Photographers of America. I'll talk about them a little bit later on.
The weather is horrible. It was snowing actually just for a brief second. And it's hard to show you, but the weather's just coming straight down off the glacier. And it's nasty. Nasty. So I'm freezing. I gotta get out of here.
I looked at the forecast of the day before. It said some rain was incoming for the weekend, starting about noon. But I guess the weather had a mind of its own. And so I hiked the 5 clicks down through the mud and rain without proper waterproofing or cover for my camera. Thankfully, all my gear survived. Okay, I made it to Whistler and it's raining really hard. It wasn't my plan to come and spend the night here or spend a lot of time here. I was literally just gonna come and grab lunch and then leave and head actually to the island tonight, to Vancouver Island. But based on the weather, I'm a little bit worried that going to the island is just a terrible life decision. It just might be pouring rain the whole time and miserable. So I'm going to try to find internet quick and then come up with a game plan. Okay, I'm coffee charged. Woo! I needed that after that morning of icy weather. And it's raining now, but I just looked at the forecast and it's supposed to rain like 50 millimeters in a couple hours. So this is not the bad weather yet. And I looked, it's all over BC, it's like this. So I'm not going to the island tonight. I'm not going anywhere tonight. So as I dry off all of my soaked camera gear, it seems like a good time to talk about camera insurance. And today's sponsor. The PPA is a community of over 31,000 photographers. And beyond the community and education, being a member earns you $15,000 worth of equipment insurance with just a $350 flat deductible for full equipment replacement, or you can repair your equipment for a $50 flat deductible. And there are many other great tools included, like data recovery or access to their customizable photographer's contracts. You'll also get access to Imaging USA, as well as plenty of vendor discounts. So head to the description of this video for a link to join and a special discount. I did manage to get all my stuff dry, but it's now the next day and it's still pouring rain, and I just checked the forecast. It's supposed to rain for like 4 days. So it sucks I didn't get out to the island, because the island is literally one of my top 5 favorite places on earth. And I really only had a day or two out there anyway, but it's just not worth it if it's pouring rain. In fact, I don't think it's worth it to be here at all if it's pouring rain. There's nothing I can shoot. The mountains are covered in clouds. And so I think I'm gonna head back to Alberta. It was hard seeing some of my favorite places and not stopping. I love this stretch of highway between Whistler and Vancouver. And I love Vancouver. But after some insanely good Vietnamese food with a buddy, I headed back east. I'm just before Hope at a place called Bridal Falls, and I wanted to stop here because I've never stopped here. And I wanted to stop here also because I feel bad leaving the coastal rainforest without showing you, or without photographing it, or really spending any time in it myself, because this is probably my favorite forest in the entire world. It's this coastal forest off the west coast of BC and out on the island. This is what I really wanted to get out to the island for, to explore and to see, but with the weather, it just didn't happen. The weather was legitimately crazy. So I don't know what's gonna happen here, if I'm gonna get photos or what I'm gonna do. It's already 6 p.m. Sunset is like half an hour from now, but I want to wander up to the falls at least, show you what it's like here, because it's really special. It really is. It's absolutely unreal in here. Crayola green moss, ferns, broadleaf plants, and a full-on rainforest. This isn't the landscape most imagine when they think about Canada, but for me, this is my paradise.
In forests like this, it just blows my mind how green it is. It's so green it almost looks blue, if that makes sense. And I can't help, unfortunately, thinking about Adam Sandler.
Chlorophyll? More like borophyll. Right?
Okay, so this place probably qualifies as one of the many places in the world that's really cool, but maybe not photogenic. The falls are quite a bit up, and I don't know if they make a great picture, to be honest. I'm gonna try eventually. Down here you have this really cool set of tree roots that just kind of weaves its way all over here, and I absolutely love this. And then again you have the base of the falls here with these big tree trunks and roots all over it. Super cool to see, probably not photogenic. I really want to get these roots involved in a composition somehow. But as beautiful as they are pulling away from my composition no matter what I do. Kind of using them just as a foreground element that guides your eye along the edge of the frame and then up to the falls. I don't know if it works per se, but I think it looks pretty cool. I don't have any ND filter on because it's already dark. I just have a grad ND to hold in some of the backlight reflecting off of the waterfall. I've come to the front of the falls, and let me knock down my tripod so it doesn't get wet. I've come to the front of the falls and have found myself in a much happier place in my life. Because down at the bottom, it was just impossible to get a composition. And up here, closer to the falls, there's a lot of fun to be had with some like very intimate details of the waterfall with some really cool green foliage in the foreground. I came up here because I was hoping to find like a fern. I thought a really beautiful fern in front of this would look really cool, and I still might find that, but I haven't yet. But I have found just this little bit of greenery with this log, and then another log kind of bisecting it, if you will. Makes for this really interesting, almost double layered composition where you have this element in the foreground, the leaves, and then you have the logs splitting it off, and then you have the beautiful waterfall in the background. And I'm actually really, really happy with this photo. Definitely different to what I normally take. Very artistic, if you will, and I hate that word, but it is f11, 3 seconds, ISO 200, and I was using a 2-stop medium grad. I probably didn't need that. I probably could have gone grad free. I do have a polarizer on, which really helped to bring out the green in this foliage as well. So I'm gonna keep searching around for some more compositions, but it's actually a lot of fun up here. I'm so glad I stopped. Okay, it's almost pitch black in the forest despite the fact that sunset just happened. It's just so dense in here. I came here thinking that I was probably not going to get a photo, I probably wasn't going to share a photo. I didn't have a lot of hope, and I don't know if the photos are any good. Let me sit down. But I think I learned a lot.
I feel like as soon as I stopped focusing on the waterfall and started focusing on the landscape and the foliage and the trees and the roots and everything, all of a sudden it just became easier. That was really important. That was really important to me. I think that I need to put myself in more situations where I'm uncomfortable as a photographer. And I'm uncomfortable as a photographer in the woods, in situations like that, where I'm forced to shoot intimate details and things like that. That's where I struggle. And I have two simple solutions for what I do when I'm uncomfortable. One, I take a lot of photos. I think I must have taken 40 photos. Because I feel like every time you're put in an uncomfortable situation, it's a learning experience. And the more photos you can take, the more you can learn. The second thing I do is I never delete the photos I take at a learning experience. I get home and I'm looking at every single one of these photos and trying to understand what I did right, what I did wrong, what I could have looked for, what I like about the photos that I liked, and what I don't like about the photos I don't like. When I'm doing learning experience photos, I'm not just going through Lightroom and deleting the ones I hate. I'm going at them and going, why do I hate this photo? As I said, it's like basically pitch black in the forest right now. It's just 15 minutes back to the parking lot, but I switched on my long lens because I want to see if I can play around with some details as I walk back. So this video's not over yet. Okay, I'm back at the car. It got way darker, way faster than I expected in there. It's officially only been sunset for 2 minutes, but it already is like pitch black in there. But it was really good getting out and shooting some photos in the coastal rainforest. Literally, my favorite forests in the world are on the coast of BC. I absolutely love it. And I'm so sad that I couldn't get out to the island. I just didn't have time. I don't have time. I have to actually keep driving tonight even. I was planning on just camping right here. There's a campsite here, but the rain has started again and I don't want my tent to be soaking wet again after just drying it off. So I'm going to push on to the next rest area and I'm gonna sleep the night back there. It's kind of funny, but yesterday I messaged home just to let them know where I was. And my mom's like, the weather's beautiful here. And I'm like, yeah, of course it is. So hopefully we run into some of that nice weather on the way home. And I guess I'll see you there. Peace.